Hey everybody, it's Slow-Mo. Today we're going to be doing some maintenance with our 3D printer.
Yeah, baby!
Now I know maintenance doesn't sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but the main goal of this episode is just to give you a sense of some of the responsibility that comes with taking care of a 3D printer. So we're going to be doing two types of maintenance with our 3D printer today. We're going to be doing some general cleaning, some housekeeping things with the 3D printer. We'll also be doing some preventative measure things by printing some parts to put onto our 3D printer, which will be kind of cool because the printer will essentially be printing itself. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we are going to do is check the leveling and squaring of the printer. As I mentioned in the getting started video, I had some trouble leveling and squaring the bed when I first set up the printer. So I need to go back and recheck to make sure that the printer is truly nice and flat. Once the printer is leveled, it should remain level for quite some time, but we'll need to double check every couple prints and make small adjustments here and there. Next, we'll work on cleaning off the bed. What I do is I turn up the temperature of the bed to about 60 degrees Celsius, and then I use the scraping tool that came with the printer to clear off any of the filament residue that's still on the bed. After that, we're going to adjust the belts. I noticed after a few prints that the belts were starting to shift to one side. To fix this, we're going to loosen the belts and then retighten them a little bit. The first belt that we're going to adjust is the belt that helps move the bed. Now this belt looks more centered. And then we're going to adjust the belt that moves the extruder. This belt also looks centered. We'll likely need to make small adjustments here and there as well for the belts. Finally, we just need to take note of some of the conditions of the parts of the extruder mechanism. This section is inspired by a YouTube series called Filament Friday. You should go check it out on YouTube. The parts of the extruder mechanism include the filament feeder, the filament tubing, the extruder fan, and the nozzle. For the filament feeder, you need to make sure that the filament is being successfully loaded into the tubing, but you need to also make sure that the filament isn't being grinded by the gears or that there's any loose connections with the filament. For the filament tubing, you'll need to check the ends for any filament buildup or any burn marks. At that point, you'll need to cut back some of the tubing or replace the tubing if you've cut back too much already. For the extruder fan, you'll need to make sure that there's no dust being built up inside of the fan or any filament debris as well. This will likely need to be replaced over time. For the nozzle, you'll need to check for any burn marks or filament buildup. The nozzle will need to be replaced every 2 to 6 months, but you can find nozzles online pretty quickly and for pretty cheap. And that wraps up our cleaning and maintenance part. Now we're going to go to the fun part, the preventative measures to print some stuff. The first thing we are printing is a fan guard. This will prevent dust and filament particles from falling in a fan vent that's located directly under the bed. I found the file to the fan guard on Thingiverse, which was created by a user named admin77. I used the existing screws to attach the fan guard to the 3D printer. The next thing we're going to print are some cable clips that will help with cable management. I also found the file to these cable clips on Thingiverse. This file was created by a user named Wholespeed. For now, I only printed enough clips for the main display cable. The clips were pretty easy to install as they clipped right onto the printer's rail system. I'll definitely need to print some more cable clips in the future for all the cables in the back of the printer. Alright, so that pretty much wraps it up for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, a like would be very much appreciated. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow or subscribe to Slow-Mo's. And one more thing, if you haven't seen it already, make sure you take a look at my bottle opener keychain on my Etsy store. See you all in the next one. This is Slow-Mo, signing off. Take care.